Ty Davis Price, to me, this was the 49ers, one of their worst picks. I thought it was a reach by at least a round. And so, I mean, I think they could have had him at 105. They probably could have had him at 130, whatever, 135. And a couple of picks after, I know you didn't like, I don't know how you felt about these safeties, but the Niners take their running back at 93. Then Nick Cross goes to Indianapolis at 96, and Kirby Josephs goes to Detroit at 97. I think either one of those guys would have filled a need and been better than Ty Davis Price. I mean, I know that he runs. I mean, he's like got good speed for his size. He's about 220, runs a 4.48. That's nice. He runs hard, but he's
1.5
not
10-yard split.
Yeah, he's really quick in those first 10 yards, but he's not a home run hitter. His longest run in college was 40 yards. I think he's a nice change of pace tandem with Mitchell, but they're both kind of similar. Like they both are really more between the tackles. And I think this also signals that they have no confidence in Trey Sermon, which is amazing because he never got a chance. So I would give this pick a D-, not an F, but a D-.
So I actually think he's going to be. If you're a fantasy guy, I'd sell low on Mitchell. I think this guy's going to take Mitchell's job. He's the exact kind of back Shanahan wants. Very, very decisive, one cut, go. Because I think that was kind of ended up being the issue with Trey Sermon, right? Trey Sermon is a little bit more patience, hang behind the line of scrimmage look. Shanahan's looking for guys who just see it and go and hit it hard. And that's Ty Davis Price to a T.
It's also Mitchell.
Yeah.
To me, those two are really similar, man. Like,
but
Mitchell
I think he's more explosive than Mitchell, and I think he's just more physical than Mitchell.
He's bigger than Mitchell, but like what they both do is they just run into the backs of their blockers all day. I'm sorry.
Yeah, a little bit. I do think from college, at least, I never watched Elijah Mitchell in college, but from what I've seen in the NFL, I do think Ty Davis Price has better vision.
Okay,
than
Mitchell
Elijah
is just
Mitchell.
Like constantly hitting his own blockers in the back.
Yeah, so I do think he has that, but so I think from that standpoint, like I think he's going to be their starting running back this year. I think he's got a really, really good chance of being that. Beating out Elijah Mitchell. So that's my personal take. And I think if you're talking about Javi posted this, right? And he ran a lot of inside zone at LSU, and Javi posted how are the Niners going to be a more inside zone team. I think with Trey Lance at quarterback, you should expect that, right? Because Trey Sermon was the inside zone king at Ohio State. If Trey Lance is at quarterback and you have the zone read action on a lot of your run plays, I think the outside element to their run game could be Trey Lance,
right?
Which means that you want a more one cut interior runner inside, and that's who Ty Davis Price is. Though I talked about that 1.53 10-yard split. He's explosive enough to get to the edge in wide zone, like that 10-yard split. For example, Tyreek Hill ran 1.5 as his.
I just haven't seen him.
This guy's 1.5.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, sure.
I'd like to see that.
It is a little bit of a projection from that standpoint, but physically he does have that ability.
To me, what he looks like he's in the same mold as Mitchell and Wilson. He looks like very similar to those three, and those guys are good running backs.
Yeah,
but they're guys who'll get you chunk yardage, not necessarily the home run. And so the point is, if they were drafting this guy to sort of take certain things off of Debo's plate, he can't. Like, he can do the short yardage stuff that they were asking Debo to do, but like Debo's best play is still to sweep around the edge from 25 yards out for the touchdown. Like that's
but
Debo still has to do that.
Look, Grant, the thing is,
you still have to do that, Debo.
Debo's a unicorn. Nobody's replacing him. There's nobody. Grant, how many players in NFL history are built like Anquan Boldin?
No, but all I'm saying is, if the Niners are going to go to Debo and be like, we're not going to use you as a running back this year, we have Ty Davis.
No, they're not going to be able to do that. But the point is that he adds a physical element to the run game that Debo brought. Yes. And he does have an instant acceleration that Elijah Mitchell. I mean, maybe it was his knee injury that was preventing him. That was brought up. That was a fair point. That could have been the issue, but he did not have that instant acceleration or explosion. Ty Davis Price has it more.
Here's the thing, though. For the record, Elijah Mitchell 151 on his 10-yard dash. So sometimes it's not all about just what you ran.
But he ran that 20 pounds heavier than what he played at. So
lighter.
Right, 20 pounds lighter, excuse me. So
yes,
it's tough to say if he actually plays like that. I don't know what Ty Davis Price ran at, but he's a big guy, whatever. Okay, but that's my analysis on why the pick makes sense, all of that. I still don't like the idea of taking a running back this early.
That's probably the best.
I think there's value to taking running backs, and I think there's a value to filling a role with the running back. I don't like you mentioned, I understand the science behind having him, and I do think that he's got a good chance of being their starting running back next year. I really do. We'll see how it plays out in training camp and all of that, but I wouldn't be shocked if we're sitting here week 8 and he's their guy getting the bulk of their carries, because Shanahan's going to ride one of these backs, even though they're going to have a stable of running backs. It's not like, oh, he has, 10 carries for this guy, 10 carries for this guy, 10 carries for this guy. Usually just rides a guy in one game. And so because of that, I do think that they're going to ride, but I cannot in good faith just look at it and say, really, like, you felt like running back was such a need that you wanted to go get one, because I thought then maybe you could have signed a veteran one, because all you really did was bring back Jeff Wilson Jr. and Jermichael Hasty. So I cannot. That's the one thing that I really look at. But otherwise, I really like the player. I don't know if that's the ideal pick, quote unquote, you want the Niners making. In regards to the safeties, I don't really like Nick Cross as much as some, so I can understand why they might not have wanted to draft him, but that's more so because I don't want to be a hypocrite. I would have still liked for them to take a safety or maybe a nickel or something.
Before we go on to the safeties, the thing with the running back, as your previous point, like, you don't only want to take a running back that high. I think the only time you can justify taking a running back on day 2
is Breece Hall.
Unless the guy is like just a phenomenal runner, which this guy averaged less than 5 yards a carry. You're looking for 3 down running backs. Someone that has 3 down value he's a receiver too, because that way, you can sort of justify the pick. This guy seems like he's a committee guy. Maybe he'll be getting 15, 20 carries a game, but more likely he'll get 10 and Mitchell will get 10 or 12.
Yeah,
like, and you took that in round 3, really?
It looks like Jermichael Hasty is still going to make this team, right? Because they still don't have that third down back receiver,
and it's not this
running back yet. And
no.
It's not. People say he has the potential to be, but he hasn't shown it yet.
No,
maybe he can. I think he's got the ability to be a good pass blocker.
That would be great. That would be something, because if he can't receive or pass block, then you cannot be on the field on third down.